Today's tip is to get the bees out of your head. This is another in a series of episodes that touch on tips to help you manage difficult emotions without resorting to emotional eating. Go back and listen to episode 27 and 39 if you missed them. Now, those who know me well know that I can often get stuck inside my head. Thoughts, worries, schedules, things I need to do, old conversations, and future conversations can swirl around in there like a swarm of bees. The more they swarm, the more overwhelmed I feel, and the more my anxiety can take hold. When these thoughts get flying around inside there, I don't know which one to grab and focus on. And since I don't know where to start, I don't start, which tends to compound the problem. Over the last few years, I've discovered an extremely helpful technique for dealing with this swarm of bees and the resulting anxiety and overwhelm. And it's called the brain dump. The brain dump is the act of getting the thoughts out of your head and onto a piece of paper, or if you're more verbal, recorded in a voice memo. Just free flow thought diarrhea pouring out of your brain. Write or say everything that comes to mind with no filters or judgments. Just get it all out. What you say or write doesn't have to make sense to anyone else. You don't need complete sentences or to explain what you mean. Getting the thoughts out of your head and putting them in front of you allows you to organize, process, and prioritize them. You clear your mind of those thoughts, and your brain feels satisfied that the problems are being sorted out, which can provide almost immediate relief from anxiety and worry. Now, we're all different, and our minds work in different ways, so an effective brain dump can look different from person to person and can vary depending on the situation. The two ways I use brain dumping in my life are journaling and my variation on the to-do list. When I have a problem I'm trying to resolve or a conflict occurring in my life, brain dumping in the form of journaling not only helps me get the thoughts out of my mind, allowing me to release some anxiety, it helps me formulate a potential solution. Once I see all that emotional clutter from my mind out on the paper, I'm better able to organize it into workable pieces that clarifies the issue. The clearer the issue is, the closer I am to the answer or solution. If I'm ruminating on a potentially difficult conversation, the brain dump allows me to organize my thoughts and release the negative emotions. So instead of pre-arguing an argument, I can come up with a way to calmly and clearly express how I feel, improving my chances of being heard, and I can be open to listening to the response. The second type of brain dump, one that's made a significant impact on my daily mental health and productivity, is a to-do list brain dump. This type of brain dump allows me to get the multitude of tasks out of my head, allowing my brain to relax, knowing they won't get forgotten. Now, allow me to give you a little more detail on this one because I've learned the hard way that there's more to it than just getting the tasks out of my head and onto paper and then going about completing them. Originally, my to-do list was just a brain dump each day that consisted of all the things that I thought needed to be done, like everything. Work tasks, phone calls, appointments, home maintenance tasks, cleaning, you name it. While it did allow the swirling bees out of my head, which was helpful, there was no organization to it. It was impossible to cross everything off. I would just keep moving incomplete tasks from one day's list to the next, and each day I would feel like a failure because I didn't get everything done. This is where part 2 of the brain dump comes in, analyzing and organizing all of that thought diarrhea. When I stopped to take a closer look at my list, I realized that not all the tasks on there really needed to be done that day. Some just needed to be done at some point that week, while others could be done at some point that month. I had just written them down on my to-do list so I wouldn't forget them. My to-do list brain dump now looks like this. I have a notebook that has a page for each month, then one for each week. Anytime I think about something that needs to be done, it goes on the list for the month. At the end of the day, any new tasks that have been added get assigned to the week they need to be completed, and then they're crossed off. On the weekly list, beside each task, I write the day of the week I need or want to complete it. Finally, at the end of each day, I look at that weekly list and pull out the tasks that have been assigned for the following day, and I create my schedule for that day. Now, this may not work for everyone, and to you it may sound like an excessive amount of work, but I tell you this story so you can see that getting the bees out of your head might be a work in progress for you. Try one way, and if it works, keep it up. If, like me, you still find yourself feeling overwhelmed, play around with different ways to brain dump. Organize and analyze those thoughts and find what works for you. There are many ways to cope with anxiety and overwhelm. Brain dumping is only one technique. Again, go back and listen to episode 27 and 39 and stay tuned for more in future episodes. Since emotions can be closely tied with unhealthy eating habits, finding healthy ways to manage emotions outside of the kitchen can help you improve your health and manage your weight. Willpower not required. Thanks so much for listening. I'd love to hear from you, so send me your tips, questions, or feedback. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Fired Up Fitness Coaching, or email me at willpowernotrequired@firedupfitness.ca. Thanks so much. I look forward to connecting with you.